So welcome back to the Let's Talk podcast. If you don't know, my name is Bokang Jiyane. And Bona, another day, another dola. Now you're wondering who that in the background, ladies and gentlemen. The grandfather of South African YouTube, Sibu Mpanza.
Yeah, not too cool, dog. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take
it's
it.
yours, bro.
Oh man, it's so good to be here. It's good to be on the podcast. You know, it's a little late. I would have liked to be in the single digit invites, but you know what? I'll take it.
We're here now, bro. I'm so gassed that you're here. I won't lie, I've been nervous. All of a sudden, the whole house was like, guys, I have Sibu Mpanza. Like, and they're like, who's that? I'm like, you. How do I even explain the magnitude?
No need,
you know,
brother.
because you've done so much for the game in the country. And us, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying?
Please, don't get me dragged.
High key, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much we're going to chop about. And before we chop, icebreaker questions.
Sure thing.
Simple ones. Yeah.
Let's
the first
do it.
one is, what is your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food is anything my girlfriend makes. Let me tell you something. That lady can throw it down in the kitchen. Anything she makes. But okay, also, she made me one of my favorite meals, which was something my mom used to make me, and that is beef stew with uchek. Oh, man, life-changing. So yeah, if I had to say, that's my favorite
yours.
food. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then the next one, what's the color of your toothbrush?
The color of my toothbrush right now is blue. Yeah, I got it a few weeks ago. Yeah.
How often do you change it?
I change it. I don't change it often enough. I think every 4, maybe 5 months. Sometimes I hit a 6 months and it's only twice a year. I ain't gonna lie. But apparently it's like every 3 months you should change your... Yeah, every 3 months. So 4 months, it's not so bad.
It's not bad at all. Okay, cool. And then the last question, which is a question I like to ask all the guests that come here, is why are you here?
Oh, I'm here to share my story. I'm here to talk about all things Sibu Mpanza, all things YouTube, all things creativity. I'm here to learn from you too, man. I'm here to learn from the youngins, guys.
Listen to that. No, I appreciate it, bro.
Sure,
and
man.
obviously, thank you for coming. So gassed to get into the chat. But also, before we get into it, one of my favorite segments of the show is a selfish segment. It's called Poem of the Week.
Let's go! I have been waiting for this. Are you going to make me choose a number?
Yeah.
Oh, sir. I'm a fan, please.
So gassed.
Don't play with me.
It's actually so weird that like Sibu Mpanza watches my content. I'm like, what?
Don't play
That's
with
crazy.
me.
Okay, so this one is new poetry that I've written.
Okay, nice.
But it's not a lot. So your numbers you're gonna have to choose from is between 1 and 2.
Okay, between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2.
2.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2.
Okay.
Damn, I'm so mad, so I'll never get to hear poem 1.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts, man. Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay,
let me get it now.
go for it.
How? So, because I'm still looking for it, this poem is a very interesting one because I had just went on a date.
Sure. Your coffee date.
Yeah,
I'm not here to play with you, son.
It was last week's episode. So if you didn't watch it, 2 weeks ago, when this one is, one of my mates, Lionel, was here and then was speaking about how I was going to go on a date. So I went on a bit of a coffee date.
Sure.
It was very interesting because it was a DM. So I shot my shot on the DM.
Oh, you shot your shot, got you?
And then she said, yeah.
Nice.
Which is...
Of course, you're a handsome dude, bro. Of course, you're going to be like, yeah. Why are you even asking? Yeah.
So she said yes, then we chopped it up. I think it went well. And then, obviously, the poem will give you context of how it happened, what I thought before and after.
Okay.
And this is how it goes.
Let's hear it.
It's untitled, and it says, I'll give it an hour, max, if I'm lucky. Probably not a type. It'll be over before you know it. You just might be surprised. I might have made a mistake. You'll probably mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. A roller coaster of emotions, I mean, this shouldn't be a big deal. It's just coffee. Am I nervous? Hardly, I say. As my heart beats through my neck, I mean, what the heck, I say in Tyler's voice because she said yes to a coffee with me, yet she ordered tea, I'll let it be. For my heart had a sense of glee and held a silent plea, and that's for us to be. Maybe I should have taken it slowly, done it differently. But I'm here in her company. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. She woke me up. from a slumber. One, I was content, at peace with the idea of romance. I had laid it to rest, but now this feeling feels strange, new and unwanted, which is unlike me. This feeling I welcomed time after time, no matter what, yet now it was different. I am angry at her for waking me up, yet pleasantly happy she did. I didn't mess it up. I rate it went well. We spoke and spoke and spoke, and man, it was dope. Forever talking and laughing with you was what I wanted. I guess it was a moment, nothing more. And I am glad you didn't show me the door, yet in my heart there is a war. I just hope one day you will call, for this we could explore.
God damn! Now you ate that. Bro.
Yeah.
You ate that. Please tell me you're gonna give her that poem.
I actually sent it to her.
Okay, good. I'm so glad you're not wasting it on me. No, that's fire. That's amazing, dude. It sounds like it went well.
It did.
It sounds like you were guarded a little bit. You're a bit worried. I don't think a date is a date unless you're nervous. No matter how much
100%.
game you have to go in there with nerves. Nerves make it fun.
Yeah.
Because at the end, when it goes well, you're like, what was I nervous for? But if you weren't nervous, what did you gain? Nothing.
Right? Exactly.
Nah, that's
so
fire.
that's the poem. And I won't lie though, like I wasn't planning on sharing it until like I debriefed with my older sister. She was like, dude, share that poem, bro. Like you have nothing to lose. I was like, actually.
The one thing, let me tell you about older sisters, man. Just listen. One thing, listen to your older sister. They will steer you the right way.
Yeah, so man, that's the poem.
Okay.
So babes, call the
Listen.
brother, let's explore this thing. You
Let's
get me?
explore it. I'm so glad that you shared it with her. Would you mind sharing kind of what her response was?
What was it actually? Well, what was it? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I sent it and then she said, oh, you didn't mention how well you write.
Oh.
And what? Yeah, something along the lines of you didn't share how well you write. You should teach me how to write. And
It's shy. It's shy. Forget. You don't say no more. We're done. As soon as a woman asks you to teach them something that you know, it's done.
you ready?
It's done, my boy. It's done. Now it's up to you. The ball is in your court.
So I need to work now.
Yeah, now you
I
need
must
to work. Also, you've set a standard. I hope you know that.
Have I?
Oh, you set a standard. None of these guys, we love you, but none of you are doing what he just did.
Yeah, no.
So you've set a standard.
Okay, no, we're gonna cook. We're gonna cook. Hopefully it goes well, man. But
I believe, bro.
great.
Love is great. Dating is fun. Do it.
so, babe, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Not just drinking. I'm gonna wait. But that's the poem of the week, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that one. And now we're gonna get into the chats, bro. And I think first and foremost, I want to know is how you doing, bro.
How am I doing? I'm doing okay. You know, life has its ups and downs. I'm still in a great process of grieving from losing my mother last year, but things, you know what? I'm not one of those people who likes to say like, I don't like to downplay things, but things could be worse, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never say this to somebody else, but for me, it really does give me a sense of comfort that things could be worse, and that's because like they have been. You know, I've had worse days than today. So
Yeah.
for me, it's always like being grateful for, you know, waking up today, being able to get in my car, you know, have breakfast, get in my car, drive here, sit and chat with you, and have no, you know, major worries outside of myself. So I'm good, one day at a time.
Yeah.
But I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna deep that in a bit. And for those people who don't know who Sibu Mpanza is, who is Sibu Mpanza?
Oh, that is a very good question. He is a man of many things. I don't want to use the T word. Talent is strong, but he's a man of many things. I'm a creative. I am a TV presenter.
Let's go.
YouTuber. I guess some would call me a podcaster.
Yeah.
Every now and then. And recently a DJ.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm a creative, man. I'm a businessman. I'm a creative businessman, and I do a lot of things. I think one of the worst things you can do, Victoria Monet said it, the worst things you can do as a creative is not share your creativity and the many creative talents that you have, because most creative people have more than one creative talent, but they will hide it. They'll stick to the biggest one. But yeah, that's who Sibu Mpanza is. I'm just a dude, hey. I'm about to turn 30 this year.
Wow.
I'm just crazy, hey. I'm just a young South African dude trying to figure it out, much like everyone else. Yeah.
Crazy. And then the follow-up with that one is, who is Sibu Mpanza without what he does? How would you describe him?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I am nothing outside of what I do. And not even in the way of like, I am my work, but like my work is me. It's just so happened that my hobbies turned into my career. Sure. So I know a lot of people would be like, yeah, I am not engineering. I am not like the doctor is not, but it is me. Like the guy you see making a YouTube video, that is all me. The guy you see DJing, that is all me. The only way I feel like I am myself is when I'm doing those things. So I don't think there is a Sibu Mpanza outside of what he does. That's why I do what I do. That's why I've done it so long, is because it is me. It's an extension of myself. It's not somewhere I go from 9 to 5 and then I do it and then I go home and I actually enjoy my life. My enjoyment of my life is this, what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, love that. Love that. Now, going and tapping into your upbringing, I did tell the people who watch the podcast, right, and listen to it as well, is I take a module psychology, right?
Nice.
And we've been doing child development,
early
psychology.
childhood development.
Yeah.
Sir.
And I'm loving it. And I think it's something with all the guests that I've had on the show that, you know what, I want to actually dissect that, because a lot of the times we realize that what an individual experience at a young age is what makes them
fully
when they're adult. So we're going to speak about your upbringing right now. And I think the first question is, what's something we should know about Sibu Mpanza when he was younger?
Oh, that is so interesting. What about me? I think something, I mean, a few people know this, but sure, I think something. Firstly, I also loved early childhood development. When when we were doing it's so eye-opening to learn that your childhood basically frames out your adulthood.
100%.
But yeah, so I think with me, it's a little bit sad, but I experienced a lot of trauma growing up. And so what that did to my brain is that I had a lot of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder. There was a lot going on. It was a whole cocktail of things. And I only got diagnosed when I was 17. And these are things that I was going through from, my therapist told me probably from when my father passed away, which I would have been 5 years old. So I've been dealing with all of that for a long time, not knowing what it is. But something about my childhood, I went through a lot of trauma, and there was a part of me that really hoped that it would end in my adulthood. But, life is life, my brother. Life is like, it doesn't end. You just learn how to deal with a lot of these things. My parents came here, well, not here, sorry, to Cape Town, where I was raised. And my father must have passed away 3-4 years later, leaving my mom with 3 kids in a city where she barely speaks the language. Like, my parents are very Zulu. Parents were very Zulu, but moving to Cape Town, to just closer only. So, apparently, I can't remember, obviously I was a child, but according to the things I would say to my psychologist when I eventually did go, I must have struggled a lot with losing my father at a young age. Less about losing him, but more seeing my mother go through that trauma. That trauma of losing a young husband after just being married for a few years, moving to another part of the country and stuff. So, significant amount of trauma that I have now in my adulthood, when I learned that, a lot of things from your childhood come up now that I'm slowly learning to deal with. Wow.
Yeah. And when you speak about that, if I was a flower in the wall, you growing up, how does that look like?
Okay, so brief background. My parents meet, my dad's from KZN, my mom's from Mpumalanga. So 2 Zulu people, different places, but essentially 2 Zulu people. They meet in the church. My father is starting to be a pastor. And my dad goes overseas to study, I think, for a year or two. And when he comes back, the people that he was studying theology with, they're like, yo, we'd love for you to go back, but then open one of our churches there in South Africa. He was in Amsterdam. And it was like, bet, where, what? And it was like, you choose where, how, we will just allow you to do it, like give you the funds to do it. So my father decided he's going to go to a sightsee.
Wow.
He takes my mom and moves there. My mom and my older sister, my mom had a daughter from a previous relationship. So he takes my mom and my older sister, moved to Cape Town to Ekhayelitsha, and that's where we live. And it was a very modest, like very, very modest start. Like we lived Ekhayelitsha for a little while. My sister knows the story obviously much better than me. She was older, but we lived there for a little while, then moved to a neighboring neighborhood, which was a bit more of a, I don't want to call it a suburb, that's a very strong word, but you know, from Ekhayelitsha where it's predominantly like shacks to a neighborhood where it's like houses and clean-ish streets. And so it was a pretty good neighborhood relative to the area. Anyway, so yeah, grew up there. Now it's my mom, my dad, me, my older sister. And then my little sister is born in 97. So we moved in 95, like a month after I was born. 97, my sister is born. 99, my father is at work, and he is... This is such a weird story because I struggle to tell it because I don't think my mom ever told it to me the same way every time. I think she struggled to tell me the story. But anyway, my dad was at work late one day, and two boys tried to hijack him. They said, give us your money. He said, bet. And when he leaned into his car to then take out said money, apparently they got very, very spooked, these two boys, and they ended up just like, sorry to be crass, but unloading like the entire clip on him, like multiple gunshot wounds. And he like, apparently he didn't pass away on the spot. On the way to the hospital, passed away very close to this community where, so he worked in a neighborhood called Imakaza, and a site C, Ekhayelitsha, is very, very close. So it wasn't very far from home. And I have a very strong, very, very strong memory. I don't remember my dad much, but I have a strong memory of, you know, churchmen. They arrive at my mom's door. They're all wearing their suits already. She opens the door, and I remember my mom screaming. She didn't even have to hear what it was about. She knew. There was never a time where all the church elders would be at her door without her husband being there, the eldest of the church elders. And so I think that was a very traumatic time in my life, the next couple of years. I mean, till now as an adult, but I think it was worse back then. I developed a hectic depression, anxiety, panic attacks that I didn't know at the time were panic attacks. I just remember as a child, I told my psychologist, so I go through this thing where I will be, for example, I'll be like watching TV, and all of a sudden my heart will start beating really fast and it will really, really hurt in my chest. And then I won't be able to hear people around me or the TV, but I can see the TV. And then like in the TV, everything's happening in real time, but it's like slow in my head, but it's also fast at the same time. And she was like, you stop right there. I know exactly what you're talking about. And then she told me that's called a panic attack. It comes from having anxiety. And I can imagine you've been feeling like this for a long time. I was like, I don't remember not feeling like this. And then even more, she was like, my psychologist told me, okay, anything else? And I told her, well, you know, since I was a child, whenever we'd be driving to school, I would have to count all the light posts until we got to school. And if I ever missed one, I wouldn't be able to focus the entire day at school because I missed a single one. And sometimes when I'm walking with my friends, I'll like, if we're walking past like a gate, I'll tap every single like pillar in the gate. And if I miss one, I'll have to go back and start from the beginning. And then she told me that's called OCD. And I was like, oh, I remember hearing about that on Oprah. I didn't think that I had it or whatever. And she was like, yeah, no, that's obsessive compulsive disorder, which has gotten much better the older I've become. And I remember telling her also, yeah, I literally only stopped like peeing the bed when I was in hostel, when I was in grade 7. And I always just thought there was something wrong with me. And she says, that's anxiety. That's a way that anxiety exhibits in children, is that they pee in the bed. And usually the cycle is they pee in the bed, they get in trouble for it. They have anxiety, they pee in the bed, they get in trouble for it. It's a cycle, yeah. So that was, mostly my childhood. I grew up with my mom and my sisters, and just trying to figure it out, man. Day in, day out. That was my childhood. I think had a very depressed mother. I think she was incredibly heartbroken about my father, and I don't think that ever stopped till she died last year. I don't think. Whenever I brought him up, she was very happy to speak about him, but at the same time, you could tell it was like heartbreaking. It hurt her, but she wanted me to have as much information about him as possible. So that's my childhood. My mom ended up putting me, she got a lot of help from like her church, and people who knew my dad ended up getting me into a very, very good school. You can hear from that accent. She ended up putting me in a very good, predominantly white boys school in Cape Town. I was like one of 8 black kids in my grade. Like out of 75 boys, I was one of 8. We had to fight just to have closer lessons at school. I went to that school from grade 1 to matric. And in that time, that is when, thank God I went to that school, man. As much as it stressed me out and there was like racism and this and that, but because I went to the school that I went to, a lot of the culture activities were free. So music, drama, everything. You don't have to pay a dime. You just have to be there. Even like instruments, you rent the instrument for the year, it's yours, and then you put it back at the end of the year type of thing. And so I remember in grade 8, we got the call, hey, anybody who wants to do music as a grade 8, just go to the music hall. There will be different teachers there. They basically showcase, I'm the piano teacher. If you want to learn piano, I'm the drum. And I met with the drum teacher, and I was like, this is what I want to do. They told me what I need. Went back home, begged my mom. My mom was like, I don't have money for these things. I said, you don't have to pay. You send me to the school. Just pay school fees. You'll be fine. And so, that's where my sort of creative journey kind of started. Started as a drummer. And at the same time, where I lived in hostel, so I lived at school. My mom wanted me away from Ekasi, like fully. So I lived at school at hostel. And outside my room at hostel, I would always hear music in the evenings and people counting 5, 6, 7, 8. I ended up going down there the one day. And a lot of people don't know this, but I used to dance back in my day. I was popping and locking listen, me and you are the same guy, dude. Me and you are the same guy. So I also started dancing then, and then everything just blossomed from there. Like, that's when I really realized that, okay, this is what I enjoy doing. Started drama classes. I was dancing. I was singing. I was doing all these things. Barely good at any of them, but the enjoyment of doing them, man, it was different. And my mother and my sisters supported me through it. And I even applied to go, I don't know if you know the Waterfront Theatre School in Cape Town. I got accepted to go there. We couldn't afford it though, so I didn't end up going. But just to give you an idea of that's where my passions were. That's mostly my at least childhood to high school story.
Crazy. You see, when you say we're the same guy, like I hear that. Because literally it's like quite similar, the story. It's just that I started younger as well, in primary, where I was just pushed in those sports and accidentally bumped into invited to a drama class, and then I was like, I'm going next week.
This is what I'm doing.
Make a plan, and just you being with the dancing and the acting and all these things that's also what I just was more inclined to do, because that's where the enjoyment was. But I did a lot of sports as well, because as a brewer, break time.
That's what you were doing. So it was just me, my boy. Break time. I was practicing chords. I could hear guys playing soccer outs. I was like, y'all gonna be sweaty by second break. Like, why would you do this? Me. And so
that's actually the next question I want to ask. If you ever tried sports.
I did, and I enjoyed it. So I went to a very sporty school. I mean, the white schoolboy rugby school, like one of the biggest in South Africa. So I did try it, and I really enjoyed it. I just didn't like not being good at it. I think it really bothered me, especially when I started music, and I was like, wait, there's something I'm good at. So Yeah, I did try sport. I did the rugby. We were a rugby school, so I did rugby grade 1 to grade 8, and then I went over to the high school, same school, but just the high school's like a kilometer away. And I started hockey, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah. The problem is it was hurting my back, and I couldn't then dance in the evenings because I was like this with a hockey stick during the day. It's such a weird thing, but it's still, to this day, I still have like a bit of a back problem from doing that. But I really enjoyed it, but it just never stuck. Hey, I wasn't the one. My brother is the sportsman. He's like a semi-professional rugby player, so he got those genes. Yeah.
But obviously, watching you on YouTube and stuff, even on your socials, you support Man United.
Unfortunately,
we're in the same boat, my brother. Okay, we're in the same boat.
Good. Yeah,
we are striving. We are crying. We are when we celebrate together,
and we celebrate hard. Yeah, we have to.
So I just want to find out why. For you was I think maybe it's also because of a time thing. You were there in the glory days of United.
Funny enough, I'm gonna shock you. I only started watching soccer 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Well, a year ago, 2 years ago. End of 2022. Yeah. When does the season start? The season starts at the end. World Cup. It was 22, right?
Yeah, it was
World 22. Cup. My girlfriend said, "You know what I like about you?" I said, "What?" She said, "You're not like the other guys. You don't watch sport." I said, "Okay."
I'll show you.
Literally. I'll show you. I said, "I'll show you." I downloaded the Premier League app. I downloaded the Champions League app. I was like, what else do I need? Oh, I need to choose a team. Then I thought to myself, when I was in high school, everybody supported Man United. I was in high school 2008 to 2012. So... glory days. So I was like, I already supported Man United, might as well. Nobody told me that we suck now. And I was like, you know what, it's fine. I've already chosen. I'm going to stick with my team. Because when we do win the Premier League again,
it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be something
unmatched.
Else. So, I only started watching it recently, but I really, really love it, man. I didn't for a long time. Part of my brand was not enjoying sport, not enjoying soccer. I used to call it kickball just to annoy people. But I love it now, dude. Every weekend I'm there. I'm wearing my shirt and I'm just sitting in my lounge like this, just hoping for the best.
Crazy. That's actually interesting. Do you watch any other sports actually?
Not religiously. I watch F1. I did watch basketball, but American sports is tough. 2 a.m. can't do it, man. But I do love basketball, and F1 is my other favorite sport. But I'm also a Mercedes fan, so we are not very good right now. After winning for years and years, I only caught the last 3 years of the wins, and then it was over. So if there is another sport, it's F1. But in terms of playing, I wish I could play. It would be so good for exercise. Also, I need to find a 5-a-side situation. What do they call them? Sunday leagues or something like that. Yeah. Definitely.
That's a chat. That's actually interesting. And then with your school journey, were you a smart kid at school?
No, my brother.
Oh, really? You
God, no. I suffered. Now, let me tell you, to the point where I wish you could have seen my mom celebrating when I passed matric. She could not. She said, "Ndanam diyakuthanda," but yay! I was worried. And it was one of those where I think you go to the school and then they just put a list at the end. I don't think we were necessarily... I think that year the newspapers was coming out a week or something, so we had to go to school. We went there. You read, you try to see where you are. And it said this, Sibu Mpanza. My mom said, she screamed so loud. All the other parents were like, what happened? Did he get a scholarship or something? No, he just passed.
Just passed, my dude.
Because, dude, it was the first time that I ever, matric finals.
Sure.
First time that I ever got more than 50% for every subject. Not saying A's. I'm not more than 50% for all the subjects. Wow. That was I was horrendous at school, but it's also because I was my mental health was in the gutter and nobody knew. I didn't know either, so I didn't understand. My earliest memory of my mental health taking a toll on my schooling was grade 5. It was a very significant year for me. That year, I remember never doing my homework. And the difference between me and other kids who didn't do their homework is when the teacher came to the other kids and was like, "Where's your homework?" "Oh, sir, yeah, of course. You check your bag for you don't have that homework. But you still look, I didn't." When my teacher came, "Sibu, why didn't you do your homework?"
Nah.
I don't know. "But Sibu, you have to." I guess, sir, I don't know. And I'm not a naughty kid, so it's very confusing for the teachers. I don't know. I don't get in trouble for anything else except for not doing my homework, because I I couldn't be bothered. My brain was just not wired to care about doing those things. It was wired to survive till the next day.
Wow.
So schooling, no, dude. Like I started banking classes in, not to say you should do this.
If you want to.
I started banking classes. I think I did 1 year of full schooling, grade 8. And then by grade 9, I started banking at least 3 lessons a day.
Wow.
A day, I would bank lessons. I would go to we had like I said, the school was fancy. We had a massive music center, big theater, and I'd either go there and play, and whenever my music teachers whose offices are in there would be like, hey, Sibu, like, it's not your music lesson, what are you doing? Oh, no, so we got a free period because of every day. And if sometimes I knew I couldn't get away with it, I'd go to the theater and hide in the chairs, like literally so that they wouldn't see me. Or I'd go sit in like the 3rd rugby field in the corner so I wouldn't be found with like the kids who were smoking in the middle of the day. And one day I was called, I think grade 11, my principal said, hey, I know what you're doing. You are going to fail. And you're going to fail badly. And I don't know why you're not going to your classes, but all your teachers have come to me and they say you're not coming to classes. And I'm telling you, my boy, it's not going to be worth it at the end. So funny enough, in matric, I pulled my socks up. Also, my mom sat me down and said, Mdanam, andifuna ufeda isikolo, so you have to really focus. And I did. No, let me not lie. I failed prelims.
Okay.
That's when I woke up. My mom said, you're not even going to get like what is it called? Like a D pass or something. Yeah. You're not going to get nothing. So you have to. And then she went to her school friends and everyone, and she found me like past papers and all these study things. And she tried really hard. And I ended up I was in the top 10 of the most improved at the end of matric. But it's easy to improve when you're getting 20%. But yeah, I was that kid. You know that kid in your class who's getting 25%, 30%? That was me.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Genuinely, that was me. All subjects. I didn't have some where I excelled. All subjects. It was just bad.
And then you're like, varsity way.
Now imagine my mom sends me to varsity. I'm like, did you not just see what we did? And varsity was the same, dude. Some things I did really well in, like my social development courses, my gender studies. I realized I enjoy those, talking about those, but I enjoyed the lectures. When it came to telling me to write a how many page essay? In how many days? Couldn't do it. Was not handing things in, missing exams. I would just not show up for an exam. That just goes to show you how depressed I was. I know a lot of people who wouldn't study but would still show up and try. I just wouldn't go to my exam. I would miss it, and I wouldn't care. And I know I'm wasting my mom's money, but my head, the way my neural pathways are set up, they're set up for me to not care at all. Yeah.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
To get to that point, like, I don't think it's spoken about often.
Yeah.
But like some people just doesn't land.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
doesn't.
Like it's just not landing at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't. I remember the one year I went to, my final year before I dropped out, I went to one lecture and I didn't understand what was going on. Never went back again. Just never went back.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's not for me. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then obviously you went. You found YouTube.
Sure. So yeah, in my second year of varsity, after I'd just been excluded, I got financially excluded. My mom couldn't pay the fees. And so I got financially excluded. I was at res, packed bags arriving, looking for my like the supervisors to be like, yo, which dorm am I taking this year? Even thinking I'm going to ask to have my own room. They said, my brother, you haven't paid fees. Go home. Literally, go home. Crazy. You can try and go to like the fees office, but overall, we can't have you move in. I took my bag's tail between my legs, dragged my bag back to the rank and went back home. And then we tried to figure it out, but unfortunately we couldn't. And my mom then paid the fees off by the end of that semester. So the middle of the year, I could then go back. I couldn't hit the ground running. I hit the ground, definitely. I was not running. And that's when I started banking again. Then High School Sibu came out and I started banking lectures. Didn't go to a single lecture. I was in the computer labs, unlimited Wi-Fi. Started watching YouTube, found some people who were like, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I said, that's crazy. Like, you're talking to people. 2 weeks later, I started my own. I was like, this is what I'm going to do instead of school. Like, yes, my mom's paying 80,000 Rand a year, but I'm going to make YouTube videos on the side. And and now it's 10 years later this year. Yeah.
Jeez,
Crazy.
and how's that journey been? Figuring it
The
out.
journey has been, oh man, it's so easy to say it was fun now that it's now and it's my whole career. But it was tough, dude. I think the nice thing compared to anybody who's starting YouTube now, nobody told me I could make money off of it. I was just doing it for the fun of it. So I missed out on a lot of those feelings of, I'm not getting brand deals or I'm not getting sponsorships. So I never had that because I didn't know that I could get those in the first place. But yeah, it was a slow journey, dude. Like I've been doing this, it's still a slow journey. I've been doing this for 10 years. I haven't hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm not one of those guys who has like a plaque or anything like that. So it's been a slow journey. There hasn't been any, viral hits where I'm getting 1 million views or I've done this or I've done that. It's been a slow, consistent journey, like over time. And to be honest with you, I prefer it that way. I don't think I would survive if I had like a viral hit and then had to, that thing, you have to maintain it. Yeah. I like the way that my career has happened, which is contrary to what some people believe. I get comments all the time where people are like, oh man, I'm sure Sibu wishes he had this or he did that or he has a plaque, and I'm like, hey guys, I am happy to be alive. I'm happy that it's Tuesday and I'm here, So I think, it's been a tough journey at some points, but in terms of making YouTube, nah, dude, like it's just been fun. It's been so good for my soul. I think because of the job that I have, I just wake up grateful every day. There is no day where I wake up and I don't go, yes, I'm a YouTuber. I even say it to my girlfriend sometimes. I'm like, can you really believe that I am sitting here and I am doing reels and my girlfriend has a real finance job. Here I am making reels. She comes back, what did you do at work? Oh, I had to do this and this and there was a financial this and this. And she'll be like, what did you do? I made a TikTok today. I made a TikTok and a reel and people really like it. People really. So, dude, I'm so grateful, man. I think I also have that understanding that I live in South Africa and things aren't easy for most of us, if not all of us. Things are not easy. Things are difficult. We see the tweets, we see the TikToks. People are suffering. People don't have jobs. The people that do have jobs hate their jobs. Like people don't have things. So it's very difficult for me to wake up and go, hey, kunzima. Yeah. I'm like, nah, dude. I'm so grateful that I have the career that I have the team that I have, and I'm able to do the job that I do, and the community that I have that keeps me going. Because they could drop me and then I must go fucking see but I don't have to because I have people who consistently come back and show up for me. Yeah.
No, but I feel like you've built such a beautiful community, bro. Yeah. Like, and we were speaking about it before we were recording earlier, and I think something I just want to add on that is, no matter what's happened in your life, like your community has always been there for you.
100.
Ups, downs, whatever. And it's rare to see people have such a strong community. And you speak of people who would like blow up and have 100 million thousand. Yeah. They have the plaques, but they don't have community. And I feel like that's maybe a lens, maybe upcoming influencers, YouTubers should come and realize is that there's a bigger picture than just getting a viral video, or doing something for the sake of being relevant.
100%.
And I think you're the greatest example of that. So I just want to applaud you, bro, for doing that.
Thank you, man.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. Building a community is not easy, but it's always my number one tip. Like, focus on that. And even like on top of them just being great for me as a person, like in my heart, let me tell you right now, when you build a community and that community is loyal to you, I'm saying this to the people who have been making videos for a while or any other type of content creator work, your community will bring you more money than the number of people that you have in your community. I have less numbers than many of your favorite YouTubers, but I can tell you right now that on a good day, I make more money than them. And it's not because of me. It's just because of the community that I do have. And it's just the name of the game. Like, and I think a lot of people chase, if I can make sure I'm getting 100,000, and sure, don't get me wrong, having a lot of views is going to make you money. You're going to make money. But the thing that's even more important than having a lot of views is having people who are there for you. and will stick around and will watch. Because the brands that I work with, they know. It's not even a question. If we ask Sibu to do this, his audience is going to do it. Him and his audience are going to get it done. So, guys, it's such a major key. Hey, don't focus on the numbers. Focus on your community.
Yeah, so Boka Nation, let's operate, man.
Let's operate, guys, please. Hey, please.
So we're going to get into a segment now. It's called The Archives. Where I go digging. Oh, so there's a lot of chats I still want to get into, but I feel like getting into the archives is going to help us a bit in that regard.
Got you.
So you can turn to the screen. Man.
There's no way you're going to show. Oh, bro. Why are you doing this to me? Okay,
so
let's do
what's
this.
Going on
Let's do this.
In the picture. And then you must.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll take it.
So.
This one.
I can't stand you, dog. Wow. Okay, so this is my first ever thumbnail. But I think this was an Instagram post. Hey. Yeah. So, but this, you can see it's two, but the one, it was just my thumbnail. This is the thumbnail for my first ever YouTube video, 18th of August 2014, and I called it Social Suicide because I thought everybody would laugh at me for making YouTube videos. Okay. So I thought making a YouTube channel would be social suicide. Okay. So that's why I called it that. I was like, people are going to laugh at me. They're going to think I'm such a loser. Nobody's going to want to hang out with me because I make silly little videos in my room. So,
I can and I think it was also like clickbait era.
Hard. Yeah. Jeez, so that's me. That's you. Wow. I still had earrings and see the guitars there because I was trying. This is literally my bedroom at home. There's my art in the back. And some posters because I was a big fan of Linkin Park and Big Bang Theory. Damn, dude. Can't even look at it anymore.
Take you back to memory lane.
Yeah.
First YouTube video, bro.
First ever YouTube video. That is I still have that shirt. I keep it just to have it. To have something from back in the day. Then dude, barely made my bed.
How was you feeling when you were recording that? Because I remember when I recorded my first video, I was so gassed. But it was also spontaneous. I literally Googled that day how to make a YouTube video. Yeah. I was like, so I took my dad's camera. I didn't even ask for it. Shot everything, and I used I think there was a editing software on Windows. Windows Maker, something like that.
Windows Movie Maker.
I said upload post. And then I just shared it to I think family and a few friends. Sure. And that was the first thing. But there was such an excitement. When I look back, I'm like, it's actually not bad. But it's actually
I mean, always it's your first thing ever.
So how was it for you when you?
Let me see. Let me look at me. I think there was a level of excitement, but I was 100% scared. I think I was like, I love this thing. I enjoy doing it, but I don't know if other people are going to enjoy watching it, Okay. So I think I was definitely terrified. But I remember asking a friend for their camera. They were on campus always, one of those people always taking pictures. I said, hey, so I found this thing called YouTube. I'm really enjoying watching it. I would like to do it for myself, but I don't have a camera. Nobody I know has a camera, only you. She said, bet, dude, take it with you. Bring it back when you're done. And so I did. And in my room, I had a piano, like an electric small keyboard vibes. And it was the keyboard. It was a Game of Thrones book that I was reading and my mom's Bible. That was my tripod to make sure that it was, even then it wasn't high enough because you can see I'm kind of sitting forward because it was too low. That was my tripod. And I was telling someone the other day, you see those computers at the back on the left? Yeah. They are on Windows, what is it? The music one, media player. And I didn't know how to edit. And every time I told a joke, I wanted it to go quiet so that it could really punch through. Now tell me why I was playing music out loud as my background music, and every time I told a joke, I went and I paused the song, I sat down, I said the punchline, I went back, I played it again. I didn't know that you do that stuff in post, dog. Nobody told me that you do it in post. So I thought everybody who had music playing in their video was playing it live, like on the speaker. So that's what I did. I had speaker on, music playing, and then every time I told a joke, I would stop before the joke, go, pause, say the line, go back, play it again, carry on from where I left off.
Wild.
So very early days.
But shout out to you for committing.
Hey, I did, dude. I committed. Yeah, and obviously the music was too loud, but you live and you learn. It took me 8 hours, 3-minute video. 8 hours to edit. I don't know what I was doing, but
man,
part of the
that.
game is learning during the game.
Yeah. That's why I speak on that because a lot of people feel like we want the camera, we want this, we want this, and like you're saying, it's just like we just gotta do, bro.
You 100% got to do it. I shared something on TikTok this week where this person says it was a Chris Williamson podcast, and he was reading an essay from someone else, and it's something along the lines of doing the thing, and he speaks about how talking about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Writing down doing the thing is not doing the thing. Talking about people who've done the thing is not doing the thing. And he keeps saying them. And the only thing that is doing the thing is doing the actual thing.
Exactly.
That's the only way. And I'm 100% for that. Just do the thing and you'll learn on the way. DJing, I didn't know how to do the thing, but I was going to learn as it happened. And it was bad in the beginning, but it's always going to be bad, dude. You're not born knowing how to do things. You learn as you go.
There's a quote my friend sent me this week, and he was like, somebody is getting paid and is not trying to get better at what at the very thing you're trying to do.
Yep.
So I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, that's actually real.
Yeah. And you're trying to get better before you get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually wild. The next picture.
Oh man, crazy. I'm about to tell you that is the first time George and I ever met. We are best friends now, but that is the first time. You can see the jacket I'm wearing is a UCT jacket. I just arrived in Joburg. This was 2017. So I just arrived in Joburg. This is, I don't know if you'll remember this. You aren't that young, but you might have been too young for this. Do you remember Voov?
Voov, no.
So Voov was a social media platform it was like a live social media platform.
Okay.
And so different people could go live at different times and it would show on TV. DSTV had a channel.
Oh, crazy.
So you had a slot from 4 to 5. Somebody else had a slot and it would be on DSTV. Anyway, they tried and they failed, unfortunately. But this is the launch party of Voov. And I get there and there's this dude. And I'm like, I know about you. Everybody keeps telling me to meet you because apparently you're the big dog in, videos and skits. And so that's literally day one. That's the night we met at that event. And now it's...
There's another picture I actually saw. I don't know. I just gravitated to this one. I was like, no.
Yeah, this is the one.
Giving.
No, this is number one. First day George and I made, first picture we ever took together.
You guys are like
best brothers now, yeah. Wow.
Jeez.
Wild.
And how did that relationship go about with you and George?
Weirdly enough, let me tell you from the beginning quickly. So I made a friend on campus. He was from this side. He was from Springs. And technically Springs is in like Mpumalanga at this point. But anyway, he was from this side of the world. And he saw me making YouTube videos. We met in first year. When I started making videos, he was like, this is so dope, dude. I actually know someone who's very popular back home. His name is OK Wasabi. And I was like, okay, sure. What am I? That's cool. Oh, no. I'm lying. He said that, sure. But then when I decided to drop out and move to Joburg, he was like, remember that guy I told you about when you started? Go try and meet him. And I was like, okay, dude, I'm going to move to another part of the country and meet this one guy. Like, how am I even going to find him? Anyway, I forgot about the name and everything, moved to Joburg. And then, I was like moving on social media and I was creating videos. And then later on in the year, this happened. And I went there and I was like, I recognize this dude because they introduced him there. They were like, yo, this is OK Wasabi. He was one of the guys part of it. And then, at that point, he knew who I was. I knew who he was. And I was like, yo, dude, nice to meet you. We must chat sometime. Sure, let's take a picture. That was it. And then now, years later, we have our TV show together, like our YouTube channel. It's crazy, like how things grew. But I love that we grew together also. Like we started apart. He was the Facebook guy. I was the YouTube guy. And we just blossomed together. And now it's years later. He just turned 30. I'm about to turn 30. We have our cars, we have our apartments, we have crazy. Oh, nah. Crazy, dude.
Very soon it's gonna be family.
Just watch kids and hey, dude. Yeah.
I can't wait for that moment. But, because it's so beautiful because we've been a part of that journey as well, watching you guys grow. And every time to see you guys evolve into doing different things and go bigger, whether it's DJing, get TV show, whatever, it's just these brews are just
possible, bro.
We're on the money. The next picture.
Oh, hectic. All right. This is Sibu in varsity. Like I said, I like things. And I was struggling at varsity at this point, a lot. and I found there was a big YouTuber. His name was Mark Fitzgibbon. He doesn't do YouTube anymore, but at the time, major dude. And I really wanted to be friends with him, and I realized that he was in the society called UCT Radio. Okay. So it was a society. And he was like, yeah, come through, dude. Come meet me at the radio station. And I was like, this is really nice, because you walk in and it's like everybody's friends. I'd never been in a society before. I barely had any friends. I wasn't doing anything at varsity. Anyway, I walked in there and I just like, I was shining. Like, I was so happy and excited. There were so many people in there. There was creatives. People were editing videos of like, of radio sessions. Some people were presenting, and I was like, this is what I want to do. After about a year of being there and learning, they gave me my own radio show. This was probably 2 a.m., like 2 a.m. I had a solid graveyard shift. This was my year. In 2 years I did radio at UCT Radio, and at the same time that's where I learned how to edit, because they made me social media manager because I had a YouTube channel. But at the same time they were like, yeah, you can edit. If you edit our stuff, you can edit your videos on our equipment also, because I didn't have equipment. Yeah, so it was a win-win, and I learned how to edit there. I learned how to present there quite a bit. And yeah, this is where I met. I might be jumping the gun here, but this is where I met the person who would then hire me to be at YFM a few years later.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about, because obviously, even George now there, of course, doing great by the way. Yeah. But I remember you also being on YFM, and I actually wanted to talk about that.
Sure.
Like, was it, having been in this space, was it something you...
So it was something that in the back of my mind I did want, but I was like, I'm not going to become a radio presenter, dude. Like, who do I think I am? Type of situation. And this was probably 2015, let's say. Yeah. And then I'm in Joburg now in 2017. And in 2017, I get a call from Carissa Cupido, the woman who was teaching me how to do this. Years later, she's like, hey, I moved to Joburg. I got a gig at YFM. I know you know how to do this very well. I know you make very good videos, so I need someone to produce for me. But if you'd like to also present, happy for you to have you here. And so, isn't that crazy? Someone from years ago, I hadn't spoken to her in like 3-4 years. She came back, she said, I remember you. I know what you're doing now. I know you're ready. Please come and audition. And that's literally how it happened. Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
It was amazing. And one of the best years of my life, but also one of the toughest years of my life. I'll tell you even now, I've never worked as hard as I worked that YFM year. I had like 2 jobs that I was doing and YouTube, and it was just, it was a lot. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It was great. Yeah.
And then when would you ever go back, rather?
Would I ever go back to radio? Probably, yeah. But I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit of a snob. I don't think I would be happy to go back and do a graveyard shift or anything like that. So I think that's where the struggle is. And I do believe if you start on radio, you must start. That's the places you need to start. But I'm like,
yeah, that's a bit of a mission.
I've done my work a little bit. But radio is a wonderful platform. I love it because you can get there in your PJs. Unlike videos, you have to look good. Radio, you just get there. Hello, everybody. So would I go back? 100%. I'm not even shy to say that. Unfortunately, we weren't renewed. At the end of the year, they were like, we're happy with your show, but we're not happy enough to bring it back. And I was like, hey, it's part of the game, dude. Radio is tough. Every April, people are waiting to see if they still have jobs. So they didn't bring us back. I've always been open to it, and when that opportunity comes, I will probably take it. But for now, TV is my baby. Yeah.
Because the reason I ask if you'd go back is because the year you were on Y, I remember, I think that's the time where I was really started listening to Y.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Because I was listening to it occasionally before that. And then when you were on it, because I'd seen you obviously on YouTube, I was like,
it's my man.
Exactly. So, and I loved you there, and I just thought you fit. And I always had this idea that, no, he'll go back. He'll go back.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, George is here. I'm like,
Somebody commented on a TikTok of mine yesterday, dude, you have a voice for radio. You should try it. And I was like, hey, man, if only you. Somebody commented, are you new here? Yeah, so I'll definitely go. Oh, I love it, man. Yeah. Radio was so much fun, and it's a bit less intensive than TV. So yeah, definitely.
So programming managers, I have an idea for you. Next April, Sibu and George drive.
Oh, snap! I wasn't expecting that.
Pay me my rack.
Just watch.
You're welcome. That's all I'm saying. You're welcome. Now the next pick.
Oh man, Uma Kriza.
Yeah.
This is my grandmother. She passed away a few years ago, 2019. Huge church lady, like love of my life. You can see there I'm holding a spaletta. It's because I just went for a quick visit after kerk, and she gave me a makeke in an Albany bag, wrapped in an Albany bread bag, and she said, "Here's a lemon twist, my child. You can go home with it." Like every time I went there, uko kunjani. So yeah, man, that's crazy. That is my gran, one of my favorite people on planet Earth. And yeah, unfortunately now, no grandparents anymore, but fond memories, dude. They left me with so many amazing memories that it's not even sad when I look at something like this. I'm just happy I was smart enough to take pictures, with my gran, so that I have memories like this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And even speaking with that, what I want to touch on this is grief.
Sure.
And one of the early episodes I had when you were not in the studio.
Yeah, we're not chilling with the phones.
Was I had one of my mates, and she had lost her mother, and she was just speaking about grief for her, and it was also unexpected, but she was saying how like you really don't get over it, you just learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And its days are different for everyone. And I want to find out from you is having experienced what you've experienced with your dad, obviously now with your grandparents, and then also now recently with your mom.
Yeah.
How have you been able to deal with that? Because that does take a toll on people,
dude.
and it's not easy.
So I think for me, let's go from like the first person, my father. I don't think it affected me that much, but obviously it does. It's just my memories aren't necessarily there of like, I don't remember being sad. I don't remember crying over it. I was 5 years old. So there's not much I remember. I think my grief was like almost like by proxy, like watching my mom grieving. That made me grieve. But at the same time, I remember I before my grandparents passed away, because they passed away back to back, like year after each other, I was going to make a video talking about grief, like just saying, hey guys, like I have this fear that one day I am going to experience grief for the first time and I won't be able to handle it because I've never had to experience it. Before my grandmother passed away, apart from my father, nobody else. I'd never experienced grief before. Nobody. There was an uncle that passed away that was really, really tough for me. But I didn't feel like it was that same grief that comes from losing a grandmother, that comes from losing a parent. And so I remember thinking, one day when I do grieve, because everybody gets like little tastes, throughout their lives, they lose this person. And me, I was just smooth riding my whole childhood. There was nobody who passed away or anything. Man, then I got a call from my mom to say that, my gran is not around anymore. And it was like a gut punch, dude. And I definitely had grief, but once again, like with my gran, I have so many photos of her. I even vlogged her. So that gave me so much solace in the fact that sure, like she's gone and it's heartbreaking, but she was 80 something years old. She had lived a long life. She got to see her kids grow up, her grandkids grow up, and even people in my generation have kids. So the grief was definitely tough. But I think I was in a place where I was like, I have so many pictures, videos, things like this that I can look back on. Memories even just in my head where I can say, I remember Kokwam 100 shooter on New Year's. And I was like, pew. Thought I was Voldemort. Avada Kedavra. I'd walk around. I had so many like positive memories. So yeah, it was definitely difficult. But to be honest, the most difficult thing was watching my mom again lose someone. So seeing her lose her mother was... oh man, it was tough. And then a year later, seeing her lose her father, also my grandfather, that was tough again. My gran passed away. My cousin then passed away. So 2019, I'm lying. My gran passed away 2019. COVID, my cousin, I don't want to say favorite cousin. I love you all. But like the cousin I was closest to, she passed away during childbirth. And I was like, what is going on in my life? Then the next year, so now we're at 2021, nothing happens. 2022, my grandfather then passes away. Now we're back as Lalin again my mom is inconsolable. She's like, both her parents are gone. Like, my mom was so excited to her plan was to retire and then go home and live with her parents again. She told us since we were children, I'm going to retire. I love you guys. Don't get me wrong. But then I'm going home. I've done my part. I'm going back to my mom and dad. So I think for her, losing her parents when she's like 59, like she only has a few years left before her dream of going back home. So I think that was really tough watching my mom go through that in 2022. Hi, get my boy. Losing my mom, that was something else. I remember the moment I got a call at between 6 and 6:30 in the morning. I'm sleeping out cold. I'd maybe woken up. Actually, the night before, I'd struggled to sleep quite a bit, so I was conked out. I didn't even hear my girlfriend waking up to go, like, she was doing her exercises in the garage. I didn't even hear that I was out cold, but then my phone vibrated at 6 a.m., and I see, and it says, Sibu Mpanza, that's my little sister. So I'm Sbusi, so she's Busi Siwe. And I said, like, straight away, I just knew something. When my sister doesn't call me at 6 a.m., no matter what, she doesn't mess with my sleep like that. Like, if she needed something, she would have called me the night before. So 6 a.m. phone call, I pick it up. Literally, before I answered, I was like, I took a deep breath, picked it up. I was like, hi. She was like, hi, Mdase. I'm like, is everything okay? And she breathes and she says, Umamutu Gyuliwe. I'm like, what? Like, what are you? It's 6 a.m. in the morning. What are you talking? In my head. Sure. She says, but in my head, I'm thinking it's 6 a.m. What are you talking about? Then I ask where. That's my next question. She says, Eropotsini. And I'm like, okay, Mdase, carry on with what you're doing. I'm coming home now. Home is Cape Town. I'm in Joburg. I say, I'm coming home now. I drop the phone. I jump out of bed. I switch on the shower. I run to the garage. I run to the back door, open it. I can see my partner. I'm like, I couldn't even get my words out. I was like, Busi just called me. She said, my mom's been shot, so I'm going to go home. Like, I said it in such a casual way to her that I think she was even shocked. So I said, my mom's been shot. I don't know how she is, but I'm going home. And then I go back to the room. I'm like, and I ended up, I don't remember, I blanked out. And I remember just feeling her grabbing my shoulder. Then I almost came to, and I was standing in the cupboard, and I think I was trying to pick clothing to pack, but I just blanked out in that moment. And then, I packed my stuff, I got a flight booked for me. And then, because in my head, I was like, I'm going to at least find my mom in the ICU or something type of situation. Let me get there as soon as possible so that worst case scenario, I have a little bit of time to say goodbye if it is something that bad. Best case scenario, I'm there at my mom's hospital bedside, As I'm getting ready, packing, I get a phone call. Hey, this is my older sister now. So that was my younger sister. This is my older sister. Hey, have you booked a flight for your brother? And I'm like, I didn't, I completely forgot because my brother's in Bloem playing professional rugby. Have you booked a flight for him? I'm like, no. Have you told him that mom's been shot? She's like, yes, I have. I had to tell him. I'm like, okay, but how is she? And my sister doesn't respond. And I'm like, has the ambulance arrived? Have they taken her? And she's like, mom's deceased, dude. Yeah. In that moment, I was absolutely crushed. I just fell on the floor and I sat there for a while and I remember I just bawled my eyes out. And I'm not a crier. I'd love to be a crier. I'm always so jealous of people who can cry because it really helps. It gets your emotions out, but I'm just not a crier. And in that moment, I just lost all the muscles in my body, which just went weak. And yeah, dude, I went home and I went to the airport in the Uber. It was just like a blur. It was just constant tears. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I remember messaging George and saying, dude, can you cover for me while I'm gone with anything that needs to happen? My mom's been shot. She's unfortunately passed away. I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say, but can you please just cut? And he's like, bet, don't worry, you go. So went. In flights, I felt so bad for everybody because I couldn't stop. I was hyperventilating in the plane. Thank God it's so noisy, but I was bawling my eyes out. And even to this day, I think it's like a trauma that I have to deal with. But anytime I'm in a fly cafe and I see that pink thing in the seat, I see it and I remember sitting trying to wipe my tears every longest 2 hours of my life. And got home and saw my siblings, and I went straight into firstborn son mode, and I started planning a funeral. No time to cry, no time to deal, just planning now. Planning how am I going to get my mom home? Ended up making the YouTube video, and people that changed my life, because I think that is difficult, having to deal with a death in the family, having to bury your own parent. But I think the most difficult thing for a lot of people is how am I going to do it? Where am I? If your mom has left something or they haven't or whatever. And unfortunately, there wasn't much for us, at the time. And so, I went on YouTube. I was like, I spoke to my family. I said, listen, I'm not shy. My mom's passed away. I have nothing to be shy about right now. I have an audience. I can ask each of them for 5 rand, and hopefully that's enough to get her on a plane to go to Mpumalanga. And ended up doing that. People sent me more than enough money. I was able to do the actual funeral with that money, because in my head I just wanted to get her home. And it helped so much because it took off so much of the weight. It's already heavy to deal with. But I think not having to now worry about money means that I can just worry about myself, and I can worry about my siblings and everything. And so, dude, but the grief journey it's been tough. I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember who said it to me, but I read it somewhere. This person was like, I take breaks to go cry, or I take breaks to be sad and to be heartbroken. In the middle of my day, I'll have to take a break to do things. And to be honest with you, for me, I don't take a break to be heartbroken. I am heartbroken, and I take a break to do my life. Wow. I take a break to come shoot this podcast from being sad and heartbroken. But then when we're done and I go back home, I'm going to go back. Right now, it's like my baseline. That's just how I live right now. So, I think that's the big thing for me. It's I don't take a break to make sure I leave space for my sadness. My sadness is me, and I take breaks to have to live my life because the world keeps going. Yeah. With or without me, the world keeps going. And I realized that because I got to a point where I was like, I haven't worked, I have no money, I still have to pay rent, but I'm depressed. Okay. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Inside Yafiwa, but you have to work, you have to go on TV, you have to do this and that. So it was tough, man, having to shoot a TV show after just losing your mom and it was.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, and even to this day, my therapist told me months 3 to 6 are the hardest. Usually, obviously, it's different with everyone, but months 3 to 6 is very, very difficult. And now I think I'm on month 7 or 8, and it's tough. It's still tough to this day. I don't think it's going to get any easier. I think the thing that I struggle with the most is God, I wish, this is so dark, but I wish I could tell everyone that I deal with in my life firstly, I appreciate the grace from the people who have given it to me. And I think I've gotten a lot of grace from people, whether I work with them, whether they're my friends, whatever it is. But there's still times in my life where I'm in my head, I just want to say, do you know that my mom just died? When I feel constricted, or when I feel like I'm not getting the grace that I wish that I had, I wish I could tell everyone all the time that just give me a break, just please give me a break. But the world does keep going. People need to keep moving, whether you've lost someone or not. So that's something I struggle with. That, I think, is my biggest struggle, is trying to keep moving and taking in the grace where I can get it, and where I don't get grace, just sucking it up and saying, okay, I guess I have to do it. I have to do the work. Yeah.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah, man.
I hear that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's something you're working on.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have more time to talk. But thank you for coming through, bro.
Of course, dude.
And I think for people who listen to this podcast, I think the biggest thing I like to take out from whoever's sitting on the opposite side is just understanding that people are human, man, and an individual is layered than what is perceived. And when someone like you comes here and is open, honest, transparent, and the way you are, I just get shocked that I'm bro, oh my day.
It's real life, brother.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Of course,
there's so many nuggets that people can receive from this, and I hope they're taking their notes.
Yeah.
Because you just schooled them.
I did. Ask him to bring me back, okay?
Genuinely?
I'm coming back by episode
We have
30 something.
Yeah.
I'm coming back.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Zintle,
Please. Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, bro, something I like to do is the last question. So you're gonna answer a question that was written in the book of icons that I like to call.
Lovely.
And you're gonna read out the question, answer it, and then you're gonna write the question for the next guest as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So here we go.
Here we go. Is this the question from the last guest?
Yeah.
Okay, dope.
Question from the last guest. Here we go.
So which one am I reading?
Yeah, the one at
This
the
one.
end.
Got you. Okay. Pardon me. Who or what has contributed to the person you are and are becoming now? Ooh, that's good.
Okay, that's heavy.
Who or what? Listen, it is not a who or what, or rather, it's not a single person, but I'm not going to lie. All the women in my life have contributed to the person I am. My mother, my grandmother, my older sister, my younger sister, my partner, my girlfriends. All of these people have contributed to who I am. I love you, gents. Listen, my boys, Machita, we're together.
Mara.
But man, the black women in my life have molded me into the person you see today is just a lot of the little things that I've gotten from the woman around me. So 100% mom, grandmother, sister, girlfriends from like my girlfriends friends in high school who were some of the first people outside of my family to make me feel loved and wanted. You know, it's different when it's just friends and not your family. Your family loves you. They have to love you. But I had a group of girlfriends that were the most amazing people that I'm still friends with, a lot of them to this day. Varsity, the girlfriends that I made there, amazing people I'm still very close to. Phone calls every week to this day. People who've moved overseas, and my girlfriend right now. I wouldn't be a DJ right now if it wasn't for my girlfriend. I said I want to DJ. She said, "You just
do something.
Do it, my boy." Yeah, exactly. She literally said, "You too much every time." Oh, babe, I want to do this. She's like, I'm just hearing noise. Do it.
Let's see.
I wouldn't have been a DJ, if it wasn't for my partner right now. So the women in my life contribute to who I am for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sibu, man, thank you so much. Before you write the question for the next guest, any last words you want to leave anybody who's listening to the podcast here today with? Or any shameless plugs?
Let's start with the shameless plugs. VS Gaming Weekly is my TV show on SABC One every Friday at 3 o'clock. I have a podcast called The State of the Strong. I have a show on Channel O called Youth Unfiltered. My YouTube channels, just search Sibu Mpanza on YouTube, you'll find it there. Those are all my shameless plugs. Also, I'm trying to grow my TikTok. Come on, guys. I'm trying to be with the kids. Also, book me to DJ. Just go find me on social media and I'll come play at your gig. Varsity, high school. I don't care if it's your birthday party. I'll show up. Don't worry. It's fine. Something to leave the guys with. I think... Let me see. What was I think it's that thing that I was thinking of today, the thing that I said to you, talking about it isn't doing it. Reading about it isn't doing it. Telling your friends you want to do it isn't doing it. Thinking about it isn't doing it. Watching videos and podcasts about people who are doing it isn't doing it. Yeah. The only thing that is doing it is sitting down and actually doing it, guys. So please, hey?
Do it. There we go. It's your chance. My people, as Sibu was writing the question for the next guest, I just want to say, remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, do the right thing. Rate it a 5-star, because why not? And do all the lovely other things, man. And I hope you really did enjoy this. Comment down below what's something you took out of this episode. We want to hear it. But until the next one, it's been lovely. It's been dope. Until next time, tango. It's thank you. It's shoo.